You are listening to I Am Refocused Radio with your host, Shamaya Reed. This show is designed to inspire you to live your purpose and regain your focus. And now, here's your host, Shamaya Reed.
Hey, this is I Am Refocused Radio right here on Sunday morning, 9:30 a.m. The Answer. You know what time it is. We have a dope, crazy, awesome guest today.
Uh-oh.
You know what I'm saying? So we have Regis Price. He is the creative director, the designer of all things. You're more than just styling people.
Yeah, man.
You're giving them a whole new level of growth as far as the brand, as far as their creativity.
Yeah.
And for the show today, man, it's all about your backstory and what you're doing right here in San Antonio. Before we get deep into what you're doing today, man, tell the audience about Regis, man.
I like to go as a creative operator. One day I was listening to Sade. I was listening to the song Smooth Operator. And I was like, dude, she talking like, this is not just a song. This is a groove. This is a movement. This is a wave. So I started to kind of get into that motion. But, man, I'm simply just a son of the greatest creator. And so I want to, just an example of my father. God created some of the best things, and I just want to be just a mere piece of that. So,
and what I like about what you're doing, man, you're in your own lane, number one. You have your own thing, your own style, your own kind of space. Because a lot of times as entrepreneurs, it's so easy to try to be like someone else versus just being yourself. Mm-hmm. What was the atmosphere like in L.A.? Like, were you always thinking about entrepreneurship? Were you always trying to say, man, I want to be my own boss. I want to create services for people. What was that like? When did you come across that time?
So a lot of it was I had to really figure out who I was. For a long time, I just wanted to be a part of something, just like a lot of people. They just want to be a part of something big. Mm-hmm. And I always had a viewpoint to be able to see things greater, but I was always a little bit nervous to do so. In LA, it's definitely big city. You only really got so much of an opportunity before it closes. Yeah. Where San Antonio, being here in San Antonio, it's like open opportunity, and you can kind of be here for a while, and you have time to kind of develop and make mistakes. So I had to really get into like what my name actually meant. And when I got more into what my name actually meant, the name Regis is Latin for king or of the king. Mm-hmm. And so I dug more into that. And then more and more I got into, I had a sit down with a pastor by the name of Ernetta Brady. Mm-hmm. And she just kept telling me about this guy. And his name was Miles Monroe, and he had something really, really big and special about kingdom. And so I started more and more digging into that. And it was at a point in time that I was actually struggling, and I was like trying to find myself. And one thing that I found out is that you can lose yourself in trying to find yourself. You can definitely lose yourself in trying to find yourself. And so through reading a book about Miles Monroe, he helped me really figure out that, hey, you're actually somebody. Like, stop trying to define your name. You are your name. Figure out who you are. So it helped me understand that we all have identical opportunities, but because you are who you are and God has made you who you are, it's just different. When you do something, it just might hit different, or it's just about timing. So with me, I decided to kind of go into entrepreneurship just to believe in myself and believe in everything that God had kind of made me, and just wanted to experience and see what that was. And
as an entrepreneur, by the way, you're listening to I Am Refocused Radio right here on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Yeah. Your host, Shamaya Reed, kicking it with Regis Price. When you see entrepreneurs on the grind, we all have that fever of social media, Instagram. We like those posters, those motivational posters, but they only go so far. Mm-hmm. You can read inspirational stuff, but unless you're actually living that lifestyle of hard work, not necessarily showboat, but just the grind. Every day it's a grind. Every day I'm building my brand. I'm networking with people. I'm surrounding myself with like-minded people. Uh-huh. When you started to launch your business, your services. What was that transition like as far as starting services for clients versus kind of like living life?
Ooh. I got a crazy opportunity to be a stylist because I could dress good. And I was like, dude, what are y'all doing?
And by the way, he got me looking really fresh and dope with the shades.
Look at this. This is the thing. I can't make Shemaiah look fresh. He was fresh before he got in. The glasses just look better. And if you're not willing to give up to your next man to make him look better, like I didn't feel like those glasses was hitting better on me than they did him. So I give them over. I feel better about that. I feel good. You got to look at your brother. So if you can't look at him and he look good, what are you doing? So
no, that's real talk,
I think you look good, man. So I had to give them over to you, man.
But that's the cool thing about it, because your job as your own boss is to help people look the best as they can. And a lot of times, like you mentioned about being lost, and I think a lot of times that happens to a lot of us through the process of being better as far as an entrepreneur, as an individual. We're always trying to find the flaws so that we can go beyond the current circumstances.
Yeah.
So as you have grown as an entrepreneur, as you have met powerful people, clients that you style and that you mentor and that you help on the creative side, how did you find that right neutral zone where you're just nothing phases you? You have all your goals locked in, you have your vision super clear. How you get there?
In the Bible, it says, "Not by thy will," but it also says, "Thy will be done." So when you look at both of those, you have to understand that it doesn't matter what you do. Divine right says that God has already kind of ordained stuff. You just happen to be in the midst of that.
That's good.
Another thing is God's grace. That means no matter what it is that we've done, we still have an opportunity to be greater.
Exactly.
And so those things that I kind of live by those things. And so when I go up, I possibly sometimes, and Clayton can agree. By the way, Clayton is here, the awesome photographer, my man. He is a villain, man, with the camera. But I'm gonna get back. But yeah, it comes to a point that we have to believe in ourselves. Yeah. But in believing in ourselves, we have to understand that God actually, what we have with our power, really just gets us there. But what gets us through is the fact that God's power is actually pushing us furthermore.
He's the source.
Yeah, we really can't. And I think that's one of the things that stop a lot of entrepreneurs. They try to do everything and be everything
themselves.
Yeah. And you just literally have to be what God is asking you to do and asking you to be. You have to do less of trying to define God and do more of being and to do more of revealing him. I think more and more that we try to define him, we get in the way of what he's trying to do. It takes us a little bit longer to get to where we're trying to go. So where I when you see me and you talk to me, I'm not or you see me in church, I'm not the holy guy running up and down and doing all of that. I'm very you always see me working and moving because I want to be a part of what God is doing. Yeah. And so that's what I believe allow me not to be scared, is because where everybody else game is to kind of do some other things and to play chess or to play Monopoly to make a whole bunch of money. My thing is, I just want to be a part of what God is doing. I think that's greater. That's just me though. Yeah.
Yeah, that's purpose. And there's 3 things that I saw on your website. Let me rewind that tape. Design, develop, and define.
Yeah.
Those 3 bullet points, I'm sure, means a lot to your business. So tell the audience about those 3 words, man.
Yeah, man. So what a lot of people don't really know is that I've come into a place where I've understood those things, and by living by design, develop, and defining that, I've come to a place where community, culture, and creativity has been the driver.
Yeah.
And when you see those things, you say, this is life. This is life. Like, we can't really go without doing these things if we think that we're going to grow. These are the things that are an example of growth. And so I personally found out that I love growth. I love seeing other people grow. And so to be able to design something gives you ability to add your creativity. Defining something is pretty much your culture.
Yeah.
And to develop something is pretty much what you have to bring within your community. Your community allows you to develop who you are. You know how they say it takes a village to bring up a child. Yeah, because your community. It's about the people that are around you. So a lot of people are trying to develop by themselves.
Good luck with that.
And it doesn't happen that way.
Yeah. Call Dead End Street.
Phew, man.
Oh, we warming up, man. We about to preach to him, man.
Cul-de-sac, man. I'm telling you, man. A lot of it is simply we have to do life together. And so something that I'm going to be coming out with later, my workshops is going to be called Created by Design.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
And then I'm going to have a flip to that. It's going to be design. Well, we'll skip that. I actually put that on my website. But and
by the way, if you want to go to his website, that's regisprice.com.
Yeah.
And if you're just now tuning in,
I like the way you said that, man. I'm actually going to get him to do the voiceover. He says that pretty smooth, right? Yeah.
If you just tuning in, man, this is I Am Refocused Radio right here on 9:30 a.m. The Answer on this Sunday morning, kicking in with Regis Price and his cool photographer. What's his plug again?
Oh, man. The day in the life of a villain. Like, this dude. Look, man. This dude Clayton is incredible. Like, I knew that this opportunity was incredible. You cannot do incredible things without bringing incredible people with you.
That's true.
You have to make, and I appreciate him just for being able to make way. And that's the thing. Like, God will make way. Like, I woke up 2 weeks ago just knowing that Clayton was supposed to be a part of that, and I was a little bit nervous. But by the way, Clayton just flew in from Puerto Rico. Like,
I told y'all we don't play games on this show. He
just flew in. The airport is behind us. Clayton just flew in from Puerto Rico, less than 24 hours ago. And he's here with me. So God will make a way for the people to be in your life.
Yeah, he was supposed to be there, too.
Yeah. You just got to move out the way. All I did was ask him. I just said, Clayton, hey, man, like, me and Clayton met up before. We were hanging out, shooting shots, standing next to a Lamborghini.
I got connected with you after the show, by the way.
Yeah, and I mean, the dude conversation, ever since I first met him, it's been incredible. I'm actually a fan of him, and he said he's a fan of me, and I think that that's the way that it should be.
That's the way it should be, yeah.
You know, and I strongly stand by that. He's a fly guy as well, so he thinks that I don't look at his Instagram to get a
inspiration.
But, that's
he taking notes, man,
and that's how it should be. If we can't feed off of each other, we're not eating.
Ooh,
if we don't feed off of each other, we're not eating. So,
and you know, I'm gonna tag team on that and say you gotta get something good to eat because this whole value system.
Yeah,
you know, the whole point of developing and growing as an entrepreneur is you, through experience, gain valuable life lessons. And that is part of allowing people to eat on your team.
Yeah.
You can't starve your team by not living.
Yeah.
And I feel like when we get stuck, we start starving people around us because we're not tapping into our true gifts and our true purpose in life.
Yeah.
When you came to San Antonio, because we only got 10 minutes. Time flies by when you're having fun.
Yeah.
When you came to San Antonio and you started to network here, how did you break the ice?
So when I got here, I actually went to high school here. I was a pretty decent football player, had been in the news a few times. I went off to college and I came back, and actually I had my church, because my mom and my dad wasn't present, but my mom had to work and wasn't able to drop me off. We didn't have enough money for my travel to actually get to college. My church, which is Second Baptist Church, I grew up there since I was 5 years old. So even when I would come here, I would pretty much go there. So my spiritual father, which is Pastor Robert Jimerson, he got with me and was like, you know, I'm your dad, like, but your church is your family. And that's how I grew up, like, learning and really indulging in community. They took a whole bus and took me to college. So you're talking about 40, 50 people took me to college and dropped me off, and they got a tour and everything of my college. And it was young kids there that never had a college opportunity. So I came to college like I was, you know, with a community behind me. I don't think a lot of people get that opportunity, but being in college, I messed up. I tore my ACL. I got into a major fight in school that actually got me expelled. And so when I came back, I was like, I'm a failure. I had 50 people take me to school. I'm coming back home, and I let not just mom and dad down. I let 50 people that had been believing in me since I was little. I had never messed up. Wow. And so I got here, and I was just like, I'm a failure. I don't want to do anything else. And so I was able to understand what grace was. And I said, you know what? I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep trying. But everything that I seemed to want to do, I just felt like a failure. And I would be pretty successful at doing it, but I just felt like a failure. When I got into the mindset of do what you've always done. Mm-hmm. Because what I've come to find out is that I'm writing a book right now called Me and the Message. Mm-hmm. But what we have to understand is our message always begins with the word what? Me. And you can't have a message without mess. So all of that drove me to a point of understanding that it's not about what they know or what they feel. It's about what you can do. But you have to be able to provide your message in the whole way, or it's kind of phony. So I wanted to give people a part of me. At 5 years old, I used to leave my grandmother's home, and she did not know where I was going. I had a clean suit on. I would always get these suits for like holidays, for like Easter. You know, everybody get a new suit for Easter. You know, and I would take that suit and wear it all the time. And so I started to get noticed by style. And when athletics had went out the door, because I was a failure at that, when I felt that education went out the door, I tried to look at it and I said, you know what? I need to bring all of that back. How can I put that all together? So I started styling athletes and getting with athletes because I didn't play ball anymore. I started to buy the books from school to keep my education going up because I still wanted to be educated. And I kept dressing fly. And so when more people would talk to me about dressing fly, I would tell them about my education. And then when more people would look at these athletes and say, man, where you get that from? Or the major people in the world, I would be able to share my education. And I just pretty much use fashion and design and different things like that to push the culture, let people know what I wanted to say, and it just became a voice. More people would talk to me in a suit than they would in some sweats. So that's what kept me going.
Man, if you just now tuned in, this is I'm Focus Radio right here on 9:30 a.m. The Answer, talking to Regis Price. You can go to regisprice.com. Once again, that's regisprice.com. You want to look fresh? Like, man, he got me looking fresh on Facebook Live. I wasn't even expecting to have the icing on the cake. But yeah, you see the shades. There's no shades here, but this shade right here is dope. Anyways, man, before we let you go, man, talk to that entrepreneur out there. They've been thinking about pursuing their own business opportunity, but they feel like maybe they're not good enough. You know how people always like to compare themselves to other people. I like to say a lot of times we're at a buffet line.
Yeah.
And sometimes we skip things because we don't think we deserve some things.
There you go.
Talk to that person who's on the fence of maybe I'm not good enough to be a businessman, businesswoman.
I read something the other day on Instagram, and it like took me like crazy. If I can say it right, it was something like, when you start to do the things that you believe, and you start to believe in the vision that you were given, you'll stop seeing the people that didn't believe in you.
Dang. That's good.
That right there is for every entrepreneur that thinks that they cannot do it. Another good thing is stop trying to be an entrepreneur on your own will. Stop trying to be an entrepreneur on your own will. The second that you think that you're going to do it, you're going to fail. The second that you think that you're going to do it, you're not going to do it. You're going to give yourself so many reasons why not to do it.
Yeah.
You're going to be so insecure by what you know your greatness is. One thing that I always tell people is you're scared to be dope. There's so many people that's scared to be dope.
That makes sense, man.
And because dope is addicting. And sometimes I told somebody before, and I had to figure this out just by being in the midst of these people. Once you become famous, you can't become unfamous. So yeah, it's a little bit scary to be great. We have seen things that God has done that has been amazing, and because we try to balance that out with what our life is and what we see, we'll shun ourselves down. But you have just the same ability and the same worth for God to come in and bless your life. And He's waiting for you. He's waiting for you to get out of your own way as an entrepreneur to propel you off. It's $1. You're $1 away. You're one song away. You're one word away. Come on, we can keep on saying one. You just one. You're one away. 1 second. It's one thing that you're just lacking, that you're just not doing. You're one radio show away.
One pair of sunglasses.
One pair of sunglasses away. One jean jacket away. Come on now.
Because
one Gucci belt away. Hey, we going.
No, that's real talk. Because if you really think about it, all right, I heard this way back middle school. I was at a Bible study.
Yeah.
And one of my close relatives, she said something that really fits what I'm hearing in this interview today. And it was me and a cousin in the hallway. She just blurted out a statement, but it was so profound. She said, "You know something? When you open your eyes in the morning, when God allows you to see another day,
vision."
She said, "When you open your eyes, all hell shakes, because they know you have an opportunity to make an impact." Yeah,
we gotta really pay attention. I say for 2020. It's the year of 2020 because what's going to come up is everybody is going to have to see life differently.
Yeah,
it's no longer going to be about how good you are, how good you sound. It's going to be about how do you see life. And at the end of the day, if you don't see life differently, if you don't give yourself that opportunity to see life differently, I spoke to a young lady named Olivia Johnson, which is pretty much the source that drives me right now. And she's always talking about the way that we view things. There was one great thing, and I know we only got a little bit of time. She said something about knocking down a wall. She said, "Hey, I can go tell you to knock down a wall. So you can either come up to that wall and knock down it with your knuckles, or you can go get a hammer and start knocking down a wall. But it's all about what did you hear and how did you see that in your mind? That's what 2020 is going to all be about. How do you see things that people are saying to you? It's the art of listening. Chad Blue talks about it all the time. It's the art of listening, Doc. So
we're going to have Regis Price back again because this is 9:30 a.m. The Answer, by the way. Listen to I Am Refocused Radio Show with your host, Shamaya Reed. we just warmed up, man. This story is so much more material that we need to cover, because you said so many really great things throughout the show. And I believe if you can catch one thing, don't forget these 3 words: design, develop, define. Because if you really pay attention to those 3 words, man, is already gaining clarity for your own vision. Man, the Bible talks about without the vision, what the people what. So if people are lacking, maybe it's because you're not living your purpose. I'm going to just drop that cliffhanger right there.
Come on now.
This is I Am Refocused Radio on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Your host, Shemaiah Reed. Appreciate Regis Price being on the show.
Appreciate you, man.
Go to regisprice.com. Once again, that's regisprice.com. And for y'all in the back that they hear me, regisprice.com.
For y'all in the back. Come on now.
We'll be right back next week. But once again, thank you for tuning in. Like we always say on every single show, keep God first.
Keep him.
Stay focused. And peace.
Peace.
This is Gene Hildebrand with Engage SA. For a comprehensive listing of Christian events in San Antonio each week, check out the Engage Christian Calendar. The calendar is distributed via email each week to about 700 subscribers, absolutely free of charge, as a ministry to the San Antonio Christian community. To subscribe, go to Engage SA on Facebook and click the button for email list. Or you can find the calendar posted on Engage SA as well as 17 other group sites. I'm Gene Hildebrand. Engage.
Hi, San Antonio. Need a barber? Visit our good friend Rico Rodriguez, the owner of Rockafellas Barbershop in San Antonio, Texas, 1733 Babcock Road, and book your appointment today by calling 210-782-5188.